we will get started as they come in. Come on in and have a seat. All right. Come on in, kids. And Donna, if you'll come on up this way after you lay those down. I know. It looks wonderful. Okay. I know. As more people come in to celebrate this afternoon, we want to thank you, first of all, for coming back, and for those that are staying after the 11 o'clock service. We are doing several celebrations this morning, and one is the celebration of this wonderful facility that we're in this morning. And as Sherry mentioned in our 9 o'clock service, that it was made possible in the old days by Marietta and Bob Rowe, and we appreciate all that they did for our church. And you know, it's just time has passed, and so it's time to kind of dress things up. And Donna had this great idea, well, let's do a shower for the Rose Center. So Donna, come up and just tell us kind of how this started, and then afterwards, please go by the table and look at all the new stuff we've gotten.
And I don't have all of it in yet. It's still some out there in the hall, but I'll bring it in. We have some lovely things. Thank you all so much for sharing with us. I was here for a birthday party for our sheriff, and I was helping them clean up afterwards. They had rented the place. And I was embarrassed with the way some of our linens looked, you all. And you know, the dish rags were all faded and torn, and so I just mentioned to Sherry, we need to have a shower for the row, and she said, okay, well, let's do it. So thank you all for participating. If you forgot, if you didn't have a chance to go buy something, or if you just want to, you can also make out checks, because the Methodist men would love to have a KitchenAid mixer, and those are pretty pricey. So if you didn't get over to get something, then hey, just give us a check. We'll be perfectly happy with that. So thanks again for coming. Thanks for sharing and for bringing all the things. And I'm excited that we're going to have such a fun day today with Corinne, with the potluck. You know, what's better than eating together and then having the shower. So things will be over there. Just go by and look at them. And thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you, Donna. See, and that was an easy thing to do. Donna had an idea, and voila, here it is. So every one of you can have a great idea this year. Won't that be fun? So we're here to continue our celebration of Corinne, who's way back there in the corner. But I just wanted to say again that a little bit about Corinne, and I hope that some of you will also come up and say a little bit about Corinne. As I said in the 9 o'clock service, I had a lovely conversation with Corinne, and I wanted to share just a few more things. One is Okmulgee gets to claim Corinne because she graduated from high school here. And even Billy Parker, for those that remember Billy, was her gym teacher. And Corinne and Pat Patterson sang in the keynotes. So those are fun things, I think. Corinne was very active in the youth program. And back then, guess what? Where's Kendall? The youth sang every Sunday. Oh, so, and they sang under the direction of George Needham. And then when George left, Retta Short Culver took over the youth. And she organized a big bus, and they went up to Newkirk, where George had his first pastoral assignment, and they performed at his church. So I thought that was really special. Corinne graduated from OU, taught school in Kansas a few years, and then accepted a 2-year teaching assignment in Frankfurt, Germany, before coming back to where her parents lived in Colorado. And then when Sam and what? Oh, they still lived in Tulsa. Okay. Okay. All right. So, see, being too liberal, I need to get the facts straight. So ask Corinne, she'll tell you. Oh, when Sam and Corinne moved here as a couple with their 2 young children, Virginia and Becky, Corinne taught 1 year at OSU-IT, which back then it was just called Tech, and then 20 years as a math teacher at Okmulgee High School, right? Okay. And then she became a business partner with Sam in the koi fish farm business. So this gal has done a lot and continues to do. Corinne, and I believe this is right, you and about 8 or 10 women were the first to have a night circle for UMW. Is that correct? If it's not, we're going to say it is. And that's because they were working full time and couldn't participate in the day circles. So folks like Shirley Mosier, Edna Mae Hughes, Billy Parker, Joyce Smith, are just some of the names that she talked about. So just think about that as women began more careers, and so things had to change, and Night Circle became a thing. And then she and Sam attended the M&M Sunday School class, which was taught by Jim Mosier. And then when Dick and Dale Danielson came to town, for those that remember Dick and Gail, he started teaching, and then to give Jim a break, and then Dick and Gail left, and Corinne. Okay, more corrections. Okay. So, you know what that tells us is that more than one person in a Sunday school class can teach. So, just saying. Anyway, and the interesting thing is how many places on this campus that the M&M Sunday School actually met. And if you want a list of those, Corinne can fill you in. In September of 1980, Corinne took up organ lessons. And she'd been playing the piano since about 2nd or 3rd grade, and she took 3 years of piano in college. And so Corinne had played a lot for, voice students, but when you think about 40 years here at Okmulgee First Church, she can't even tell you how many weddings and funerals that she has played for, and we appreciate every one of those. So today we want to thank Corinne, and we want to thank her family for all the love that they have shown this church. And we heard from Virginia at the 9 o'clock service, but we have a special in-person guest, Becky, her second daughter. So Becky, you want to come up as she makes her way up? And I've asked Becky if she would kind of relive some memories and what it means to her to have a mother that has played for this church, has sang at this church, that Becky was raised in this church. And so come on up, Becky, and share.
I asked Bev if she would print out. I'm not wearing my readers, so but it's 14 or 16 fonts. So, okay. Whoops. I'll hold on to it. When Bev asked me if I wanted to share a memory, my first thought was, I don't have any specific stories. I was trying to think of something really funny, and after some thought, I realized that the main story of Mom's playing to me is that it was constant and woven into our lives, like people eat every day. Mom has a faithful work ethic. And so just as she showed up to teach math for many, many years, Mom showed up to the church anytime music was played. She practiced her organ skills because she hadn't played the organ until the year before she played the organ for the church. So 2 hands, 2 feet, stops and different layers of keyboards. That was all new compared to a piano with 1. So she practiced those organ skills. She practiced how you make selections for the church, the prelude, the offertory, the postlude. She practiced with soloists. She practiced with the choir. She played every Sunday. She played during holidays, during choir cantatas, during weddings, during funerals, during vacation Bible school, during any church function that involved hymns or special music. She played locally for our church, but she also played for district and statewide UMW gatherings. She played annually for the high school baccalaureates at some point. I'm sure I haven't included everything, but as Virginia said this morning, she did play at home, sometimes just to entertain us or to sing a Christmas carol. But as a mom, she was available to play with Virginia and me. So if we wanted to hear a new song that we were supposed to be practicing, or if we were playing a duet, she could always play the other side. And some of my favorite memories are that when we were learning piano, you might learn one hand at a time, and she could play the other hand. So you could play it with somebody, but you didn't, anyway, you got it. So she could also play both hands together. She seemed so versatile. She could play piano with feeling and the organ with foot pedals. She can sight read everything at almost the correct tempo, or almost everything. She adds some more notes if a main performer missed a cue, she could add some few notes until the performer found their place, or the choir. And if she needed to shut down something, like at the end of a communion, she could tidy up the song and end it peacefully, and you just never know that wasn't really where you were supposed to end the song. She worked with so many different people and personalities and styles. So think of all the new choir directors, all the new ministers, the local soloists and visiting soloists and ensembles, and all the weddings and all the funerals that people brought in special people to play for. And they all had different styles, needs, and preferences. She played music selections of others and also provided music selections for the additional parts of the service. A good organist is kind of like good teeth. You don't really think about them unless one of them is not working. Her playing was like a healthy set of teeth. All that to say, Mom was faithful to her service and reliable to others. We knew that whether she had a headache or a hectic schedule, skipping a choir practice or a church or organ-involved event would not be a thing. Heavy snow? She was going to church. If the church service was going forward, so was she. Mom and Daddy, most of you probably know, they live outside of town on a dirt road. And so think of how many Wednesday nights when Virginia and I were in college that she would drive home alone in the dark and get outside and open a gate and drive through and close the gate and continue on to their home. I did not like getting the gate, so I really appreciated that aspect of her dedication. Let's see. And so that did bring up a memory that I thought you guys would enjoy. I do remember one year in middle school, and I don't remember every single detail about it, but I do remember that the spring it was very rainy, and the road got very, very mushy. And so there were times when the car would go off the road and Daddy would pull it out with a trencher or a tractor. But this week it was so muddy that they had tried it often enough that they knew it was a given that we had to bring out the tractor. So we rode the tractor to the gate so we could get in a car and go do the town stuff, come back, and get back on the trencher. And I remember riding on that at night one time because we needed a headlight. And I can almost guarantee you it was for a Wednesday night choir practice because we were doing choir. So another memory would be getting free range to explore that church building over there. So Virginia talks about the quiet, contemplative warmth surrounding of the music. I was going exploring. So I climbed up all the stairs, opened every door, and I can still remember walking into the bridal room, which was very fresh at that point in time and beautiful. And I didn't know it was there. And I felt like I'd found the secret room to the church, because the music is playing in the back room, and I opened it. The sunlight was streaming in, and there was an oval mirror and the beautiful amber carpet. It was just, I had found my spot. It doesn't still look like that, but it was beautiful when I found it. Again, with that backdrop of the organ music. To wrap up, I just shared my perspective of her playing. She shared her perspective of playing once when we were discussing serving God and serving the church. And so we talked about her teaching Sunday school and United Methodist Women. And I said, well, don't forget, you play the organ for every worship service. And she made a comment like, oh, but I do that because I like it. That's fun. That's just something fun I do. It's not like a sacrifice to God. And honestly, I can't think of a more beautiful way to glorify God and worship his gifts to us. So.
So now we have an opportunity for some gift giving to Corinne. So Corinne, will you please come up? Dana and Susie, I think, are coming up. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I don't have a speech prepared, Corinne, but just on behalf of the choir, I want you to know, and I'm sure, I feel like you do know, that we're going to miss you so much all these years. We've had a front row seat to all the beautiful things that Corinne has played. She's accompanied us. She's saved our, whats on many occasions, especially mine. And there's just no way to express how much it's meant for us to have Corinne as our accompanist. And she used to play bells with us too. Did you mention bells, Becky? Yes, we used to have a bell choir, and Corinne was right there leading the way with the bells as well. So she's just going to be wonderful to sit out and see her out front. I told her she can critique us every week and maybe help us get a little bit better. But anyway, we have a little gift for you, and because you're such a great musician, we felt like maybe we'd give you a little extra music at home that you don't have to play all the time. So, oh, there it is. Oh, I did. So, we thought maybe this musical clock would keep you entertained, and you can try one down there if you want to. You think you'd like that? It plays quite a variety of songs. It plays a section of songs that are hymns and classical pieces, and it plays another section that is patriotic in nature, and then it has a section for Christmas songs. And it will turn off at night when it gets dark, so it does that by itself, so you you don't have to bother turning it on and off. But anyway, we just hope that you'll think of us and how much we appreciated your music all these years.
Thank you.
Okay, Okay, Corinne, there are some cards around, I think, in that basket. Oh, and at her table. Okay, all right. So you can open those at your table. And then, Susie, are you going to wheel up this beautiful cake we have for her today that you'll all get to taste? Look at that. So sorry you can't see it. You'll have to go by the table. Can you do it? And these beautiful flowers that Jan Slammon's made for you. And because Jan said Corinne is the sunshine of this church, so had to have sunflowers. All right. Okay. Would you like to say anything before we finish? You don't have to. If you...
I'll also put the glass in your picture and before you take it out. If y'all haven't signed the picture out, it's out in the hallway. Do so.
I just want to thank everyone. Even when I first started playing, you were so very supportive. And I know there were many wrong notes at first. But I've always felt your love, and it's just been a pleasure to play the organ here. And I just thank you all so much.
Well, Corinne, we thank you for everything you've done for this church. As you can tell everybody here, you mean a lot. When I was getting ready to come here, I was told by several people, oh, the music is taken care of. We have two of the most wonderful ladies doing the keyboards, the organ, and the piano. And it was true. It was true. We're so grateful for you and for Marie for being here. So thank you. And I cannot fill your shoes. I can't do what you did.
You're so talented. Yes, you can.
So,
She feels it in many, many ways.
well, let me just say,
Beautiful voice.
well,
She
thank
plays
you.
beautifully.
Thank you, Corinne.
really do.
And so I'm going to try and do what I can do, but if anybody knows anybody who might be able to try and fill Corinne's shoes, or at least half of them, bring them on up. Bring them on
Well,
up. So thank you.
We appreciate everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
She not only plays, she preaches and does all of these things. She does our bulletins. I think we're just really blessed to have.
Thank you, Corinne. Well, we've been blessed to have you. So, is that all, Beverly? So that means, can y'all smell that food? Smells so good. You guys, be sure and come up and look at the cake. We need to get a picture of Corinne with her cake very soon, and before it gets cut, because it's pretty. It's pretty. It says thank you, Corinne, and I didn't make it. Just so you know. I ordered it. So let us give blessing over the food. Those of you who are moving around carrying food things, keep carrying them so that we can line up to eat. And I'm going to stand right here with Jackson, and we're going to bless the food. God, we give you grateful thanks for this time that we are having together, for Corinne and her family, for the love that she has shown to this church, for the service that she shows to the church, even as she begins a new journey, a new life without playing the music in the church, but still being here. We're just so grateful for her and for her service and for her family. Lord, we are grateful for this church. We ask your blessing upon it, and as we go from this place, that we might continue to be your church, the hands and feet of you, taking your church and your love out into the world. We ask that you bless this food mightily. We ask that you bless the hands that have prepared it, and that it might nourish our bodies, that all of our conversation might nourish our souls. Lord, we give you thanks for this beautiful building that we now shower with new gifts so that we might be able to use our facilities to further your kingdom. We ask all of this and give grateful thanks to you for the Son that you have given to us that saves us, and the Holy Spirit that is among us. In Jesus' name.